to my channel, and if you're new, hello. I'd like to share with you my 30-day no rice, no bread, no pasta, no artificial sweets, no chocolates, no dessert, no ice cream diet. So I went into it from June 15 to July 15, and I must say that it is a very rewarding challenge. While I did have some struggles, there's a lot of good things that you might get from it. The best thing is that you can start to see noticeable results in the entire 30 days, and because that was a huge chunk of carbs that I took out from my diet, I was able to notice myself fitting into my jeans, not all of them, but into some of my jeans and some of my skirts. And while I have always mentioned that I've been doing some biking, like not actual bike but the stationary bike, and some squats and some lunges, my butt muscle has been growing really bigger versus before. So I don't blame myself on that, because I don't blame myself so much if I don't fit in a lot of my bottoms, like my pants, my jeans, my skirts, because it's a totally different ball game for me this time when I am trying to build on my muscle, on my pelvis, on my butt, and on my thighs. So I don't blame myself so much, because I really like having a lot of muscle down there. But I do feel like waistline wise, it's a lot rewarding when you cut on the carbs. So I started fitting on dresses that would really hike up so high, because I was kind of like getting really wide, and also because some of the skirts don't fit and show my muffin top and show my waist, and it's not very appealing to the eyes anymore. So with the 30-day basically less carbs diet, because I still ate carbs in the form of maybe potatoes, sweet potatoes, fried potatoes, whatever, bananas, like the saba bananas, I had a lot of those. I just have to choose wisely, but these are the restrictions. And I have to explain why I did this. I cannot go back to the paleo diet. It's very restrictive, and it's very hard to do when you're up and about and your work requires you to do a lot of field work. So I've told myself, why don't I just cut back on specific food groups one at a time for 30 days, and in that way I flush out those food groups out of my system, and then I come back to them when I'm ready to, like, maybe spend some time with my friends or my family, or if there's a major event. So it was really very slimming, so I would have to recommend you do it, because if you're someone who wants results right away, this is a nice food group to really cut back on. Second, you feel lighter, and I noticed that when I go to the gym, it's much easier for me to pull up myself, it's much easier for me to jump, easier for me to like really leap. It's easier to go on the treadmill when you're lighter. I'm not here to give you measurements or to give you like basis or whatever. It's just a light review. Like, I just want you to know how I felt, because overall it's about how you feel. Because I may see like numbers and all that, but sometimes you feel bloated, you feel bad, you don't like it, you can't go on with it. So let's focus more on how we will feel. And this is just how I felt. I felt slimmer, I felt lighter. Those feelings are more powerful than actually seeing the numbers. And while everything is of course numbers, but at the end of the day, if you don't feel good about it, it's not gonna be sustainable in the long run. So then I also noticed that I was less sleepy at midday, because I don't eat rice. So in the afternoon, if I'm having a meeting, I noticed that I don't feel sleepy. Then I also noticed that there were less cravings by week 3. It was tough on weeks 1 and 2, but on week 3 there was less cravings. I just have a disclaimer, because I don't have a sweet tooth, and maybe if you have a sweet tooth, then this kind of like will be a struggle for you. But for me, since I don't have a sweet tooth, I rarely ever have cravings, and usually when I do have cravings, I just have them when I'm about to have my time of the month. So then we go to the negative side or the hard part. And I'm gonna reference from the cravings when it's time of the month. I did have those, and I did struggle for a bit because the cravings during the time of the month, they're different. They just, like, you're wired differently when you're about to have your period or when you're ovulating or whatever. So it's kind of tough, but you just have to get through it. And that is how I see other people when they have a sweet tooth and when they start having cravings. And I understand how it must be really hard because that's what I go through before my time of the month. So yes, it was hard, it was tough, but don't worry, if you put your mind into it, you can really get through it. Another thing that I noticed is that it's really hard to spend time with friends because sometimes you go to a restaurant and it's a pizza pasta restaurant. There's nothing you can eat. I'm not a carb person to begin with, so probably that's another disclaimer. But I do love my rice, and I love my rice, really. I love my rice a lot. And that was the hardest part of this all. And every time there's someone who's serving lechon, I just have to be happy with just lechon and some vegetables. And it can be done, but sometimes you miss out on those things. And then also when somebody is treating everybody for like a celebration at the office and they chose pizza. Okay, so I'm not gonna have a snack because they chose pizza. But, it is what it is. You just have to get along with it, and the rewards are good anyway. While I noticed some results, they weren't enough because after 30 days, I was really waiting for this vacation I was going to have with my family, and when we proceeded with it, I had like 10 days of not exactly binge eating, but I had cake, I had a lot of, a little bit of fries. I didn't really go overboard. I wasn't ravenous after the 30 days, and people might think that you would binge eat after that. No, it wasn't like that. After 10 days of eating rice, cake, chocolates, ice cream, and yeah, all those bread, because bread is another of my guilty pleasures because bread has a lot of gluten, and bread just brings out a lot of my skin allergies for some reason. It just spikes up every time I have a lot of bread, and well, I had those, and sometimes I would have breakfast. I also stopped my intermittent fasting for 10 days. So I realized I'm gonna go back. So now I'm back. I'm back to the 30 days. I'm already on my second week, and I've never felt better because, not every day is a celebration anyway. So, and I also have to convince myself and to believe that gone are the days that I am invincible, that I can eat everything, and I can have 3 cups of rice every meal, and that's what we've been doing when we were in college because we were broke. So, gone are those days, and we just have to accept that the metabolism, the lifestyle, they're both different now. And yeah, so I have to go back to this once in a while. And then if you already watched my review about my tandem of 3 days of 1 meal a day, together with this 30-day no pasta, no rice, no bread, no artificial sweets, no dessert, no chocolates, no ice cream diet, is also doing so well. So if you're someone who's really thinking of jumpstarting everything, you can actually do the 30-day no carbs or less carbs diet together with my 3-day 1 meal a day diet because it really worked for me. And I just have to clarify that my intention was not to actually lose weight, although I thought to myself when I weighed the options, if I'm gonna lose weight anyway, then that's a really good deal, because I was really developing a lot of like skin allergies from all the gluten and all the bread and the pasta that I've been eating, and it's not gonna be good in the long run anyway. So, but the second of all is because I needed to be healthier, and aside from that, the after effect is that I will have a slimmer body. I'm all for it. Of course, I'm all for it, cause I'm not gonna be this size forever if I'm gonna keep on eating. And I have like a really huge appetite. Like my appetite is like, I don't know where I get it. I'm just a small person. I'm barely 5 feet and I'm really small, but I can eat. I can really eat. And I just have to think that maybe my brain has been wired so bad recently because I gave in to everything. So I just have to put a stop. So there you have it. That is my review for the 30-day less carbs diet, or whatever you want to call it, because it's too long. All the restrictions I listed, they're kind of plenty, but they're the ones that I think are the ones that you should look out for. They're the ones that are red flags, at least for me. So for you, maybe you can find out for yourself which are the ones that are causing you to feel sluggish in the day, or maybe you might want to check out which kind of food groups have you been eating regularly every day, every week, every month, and maybe you might want to go on a diet from that. It's called balance for me. Sometimes you come back to it, sometimes you just forget about it. And if you want to flush it out of your system, I did this for 30 days because everything that you don't eat for about 21 to 22 days gets flushed out of your system. So for measure, you just don't eat it for 30 days and it's out of your system. So bye-bye gluten for me that time. Except, and I have another disclaimer, I still ate my dumplings. I still had my dumplings because I just love them. But that's the only thing that I didn't cut back on. The rest, I really, all the artificial carbohydrates, they're gone. So, there you have it. I hope that this film has been helpful for you, or has given you an idea on how you could probably do a version of your own 30-day diet, and you can come back to it, and then you have a deeper appreciation of the food that you eat, and you can also come back to it just in case you have a very special occasion you want to spend time with your friends and family. If you have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will make sure to get back to you. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!